We are post-transfer deadline day.
Yep.
The day after, the morning after, the night before.
Yep.
And what a night it was.
What a night.
What a day.
Stressful.
I mean, what a month, really.
Yeah, to be quite fair, isn't it? It's been a very, very stressful month, man.
No signings.
No signings, man.
Are you surprised about that?
Very, very surprised because we had expectations going into this January window.
What were you expecting? Dusan.
I thought that was done. You know, there's some people getting at me online because I felt so confident that that deal was actually happening. And again, it wasn't, you know, it was more or less being inspired by what the papers were telling us. Deals are being put on the table, money's been accepted, Arsenal are ready to splash the cash. And it's like, well, how more compelling can that be? Do you know what I mean?
Well, have you fallen for it, or did we actually?
Yeah, I fell for it. I actually fell for it.
So you don't think that was Arsenal's main target?
Well, I'm starting to think twice about it now. Why? You know, because if that was a target and we had the money to get that done, where's the alternative?
I don't think. Well, this is the thing. This is, I think, part of the problem, right? We're looking to sign a top player, top striker. We haven't signed a striker for 4 years.
Yeah. As
we've seen, they're clearly done with Aubameyang.
Yep.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But Dusan looks like he was the first choice. The other choices that are available aren't really quite as exciting. Like, he's 21, he's banging in goals left, right and centre. He looks big, strong, ready for the Prem. It looks all good. But if the player doesn't want to come, and from the sound of things, the agent wasn't even picking up the phone for the calls to sort it all out, then what can you really do? And who else really is there? That's what I think we're saying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is a determination that Arsenal need to make, though. They have a scouting team. They've got Edu. They've got people that are looking at players left, right and centre. From
the looks of things, either there aren't the players available that Arsenal, or the sort of quality that Arsenal are looking to bring on board out there.
Yeah.
Or we're not willing to spend the money on what is available.
Yeah. Or Mikel Arteta is getting the opportunity to have his presentation with the player and the player's not buying into it.
Oh, and do you think that's happened with...
I think that's happened with a number of players since Mikel Arteta's been here. You have to bear in mind, look at what Willian and Odegaard both said. They've had their presentations. We want to win the Champions League within the next 2.5 years. That didn't come from Edu's mouth. That didn't come from Richard Garlick's mouth. That comes from Mikel Arteta's mouth. Because he's the one that has to sit down with the representatives of the player and help them understand what the vision is for the team. It's not Edu's team, it's Mikel Arteta's team. So there is a high possibility that if a player rejects Arsenal Football Club, it's not down to Edu, it's not down to Richard Garlick, it's down to Mikel Arteta and the vision that he sold.
Okay, I mean, I'm getting the feeling that you are still massively stressed out.
Massively.
About, is it deadline day in particular, or just
the whole window? How we've left it so late, and then it leads up all the way to deadline day, and you don't pull nothing out the bag other than 2 MLS players.
Oh, this is interesting. We did make a signing.
Yeah.
For the summer.
Yeah.
Austin Trusty.
Trust the process, yeah. Trusty the process.
Is that? Are they taking? Like, what's going on?
I really don't know. I think that conversation that Mikel Arteta would have had with Stan Kroenke when he was in America would have been in regards to taking players from Colorado Rapids.
This guy he's a centre back.
Yep.
How old is he? 23.
23. Yeah.
23. I've had people messaging me saying that the US men's national team have called up over 30 defenders over the last 3 years, and he's not one of them.
Yeah.
And that despite the fact that he was a league winner with Colorado, it is a massive shock to even MLS fans for him to be the one that is like chosen.
He's only been at Colorado Rapids for just over a year.
Well, there's also people that have suggested that Colorado Rapids would like to free up some GAM money for a designated player.
Yep.
And that would make quite a lot of sense to me, especially as what was being reported yesterday was that he is going to be loaned back immediately until the end of the season, and then for next season he'll be loaned out in Europe. Is he actually ever going to play for Arsenal? And why are we signing more centre-backs when we already have centre-backs who are trying to get involved that can't get a look in?
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. I really don't know. In regards to him being a part of Arsenal, I don't think he's going to come in the summer and be straight put into the team. like we were saying off camera, I think he's someone that's probably going to get loaned out to a European club.
Anyway, look, what we did do, the business we did do, is get rid of more players.
Yep, 6 players altogether, I think.
Look, the first one that took me by shock, by surprise, was Callum Chambers.
Yep, that was just under the radar.
When we talk about like in the nose, who knows, who's got sources?
Nobody.
I didn't see anybody with any suggestion that Callum would be leaving.
Yep.
Is that a big deal? Is that like,
well, it's a big deal when you don't bring in a replacement.
Why are we not getting money for these players? Well, we're cancelling everybody's contract.
This is what I'm saying.
Everyone can go for free. Is it better to have the wages? I'm seeing a lot of people saying, you know, we've saved between like 25 and 29 million pounds in wages.
But it's all cool saying, yeah, we've saved that amount of money, but who's to guarantee us that money is going to be reinvested back into the team? It was the same thing with that kind of like the Mesut Ozil situation. Oh yeah, we've got 350k. Does that money really get reinvested back into the team? All right, cool. We got 150 million to spend.
See, with that, the Ozil situation.
Yeah.
Arsenal were paying. I know a Turkish guy who's a big Fenerbahce fan. That they weren't paying more than 30 grand a week of his wages for, I think like 7 or 8 months after he'd left the club. So we were genuinely paying him like 270 odd grand a week.
Okay.
To not play for us.
If we add up the amount of money we've outlaid on the 6 players that we brought in the summer, that doesn't even add up to Mesut Ozil's wages.
Aubameyang is the other one. It's happened so fast. He's gone from being the captain of the club to play. He's training for Barcelona.
He's ready. He's getting ready for the Atletico Madrid game they've got on Sunday, 6th of February.
You know how much Arsenal tweet, like on a regular basis, as many updates as possible, as many plugs of the training kits and this new thing and
Yeah.
They've tweeted once in the last 22 hours.
And that was in regards to the Chinese New Year.
That's the Chinese New Year. Like they specifically went missing yesterday at 4:29 p.m. just as I guess deadline day is hotting up. When everyone is starting to check in to see if anything's happening. The maddest thing to me was that they didn't even retweet that poor lad's signing for Arsenal.
Yeah, the Austin Rusty.
From a personal, like man-to-man perspective, that's an amazing achievement for a kid.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we're saying about who is he or whatever.
Yeah.
You signed for Arsenal, mate. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
From America, bro.
Exactly.
You're one of a select few Americans who have basically been accepted into the European game like that.
Yeah.
Arsenal didn't even retweet the guy. Huh? It was like they were ashamed of, or they didn't want to make the fact that this is the business that we're doing public. And the same thing with Aubameyang. Not a word.
Not a word.
We've just been listening to random journalists showing us videos of Aubameyang's turned up in Barca. Huh? What? Then everyone taking a bit odd and wingy.
Yeah.
And now, lo and behold, he's actually signed the contract. Gone. So
gone. Totally gone. Never coming back.
That's it. Arsenal career over, and 8 goals short of 100.
It is such a sad time, man. It is so sad, to be quite fair, with the way it ended, and it just resembles the Mesut Ozil situation, man. You know, exactly the same process that he's been put through, and there's got to be more to it than turning up late for being there for your mum. You know.
Well, yeah, to be fair, they've said on the official website as well that was one of a number of disciplinary breaches. There are people, and let's just play devil's advocate for a second, who are going to say that Aubameyang was that rotten egg or that rotten apple.
Yeah.
And that he wasn't totally buying into the system. And we've talked about this off camera, there is a project here. Maybe Aubameyang's frustrated with the way that we've been playing, or his own form, or the way we've been playing has affected his own form.
Yeah, I think it's that, and I also think it's the direction that Arsenal are trying to pull in. You know, you have to bear in mind Aubameyang joined Arsenal because he thought we were trying to head back to the top. He thought we were trying to do Champions League and all of that type of palaver. You know, since he's joined, I think there's just been a slight decline in everything that we've been doing, and it's ruined his attitude. You know,
they must have had to cancel his contract to make him a free agent. Otherwise, they would have had to do it by the deadline, and it would have had to have been announced.
Yeah, I think what as far as I've read, I think it was James Ollie, one of the journalists, that put it out there to say Arsenal didn't want to pay any wages for Aubameyang. Now that makes me question: did they just want to just get him out of the club, or could they not afford?
Let me ask you this: what is the point in paying most of the wages for a player who is not really going to feature again, or you've made the decision to not be involved?
Because he's got an binding contract that says you pay me until this day.
Yeah, but that's good for Arsenal, though, isn't it?
What, to get rid of the wages? Yeah, no, of course it's good for Arsenal to get rid of the wages, but again, that's something. I think that's been the, you know what's wound me up is I've believed that's been the focus for Arsenal this whole January. That's the reason why we haven't signed anyone. The focus for Arsenal this January was to just lower the wage bill, try and get people out the door, whether it was Leno, whether it was this one, whether it was that one, just so we can lower those wages. And I think it's potentially to deal with the fact that Arsenal can't afford to pay that amount of money due to the amount of revenue that they're generating currently, you know? And Leno was on the chopping block, ready to join Newcastle. The reason why that never happened is because they knew, all right, cool, we're going to take Aubameyang's wages off the books. Therefore, we can afford to keep Leno here for the next 6 months. Do you know what I mean? And that's been the focus. That's why we haven't brought any players. It's solely.
What are you rating this transfer window out of 10?
0.
0.
0.
So. Okay,
0.
Right. Because
it would have, if you would have brought in 2 players, I would have gave you a 7, gave you an 8, somewhere close up there. But you've got rid of our. Let's say Aubameyang is our best player. Yeah. You've got rid of our best player, our top goal scorer that's been here for the past 3.5 years. You've got rid of a backup right back who's also a versatile player that can fill in the holes when we are in a crisis.
Maitland-Niles.
Maitland-Niles, I totally forgot. Maitland-Niles and Callum Chambers. Okay. Like, these are 2 players that are versatile, that can fill in the holes when an injury arises or when we need to do some rotation, and you haven't replaced them. You haven't brought anybody in, and that is very, very questionable.
Well, Sead Kolasinac off the books.
I mean, that was inevitable. We know we needed to get him off the books.
Pablo Mari on loan, at least, to Udinese.
It was a pointless signing in the first place, anyway.
But this is good. We're getting stuff dead out. You know?
Yeah, but these are mistakes that Mikel Arteta made himself. You know, there was no. We took Pablo Mari on a loan. There was no need to give Pablo Mari a long-term contract. Why did you do that? And then a 1.5 years later, on his anniversary of joining the club, you get rid of him. I would have rather kept Callum Chambers and got rid of Cedric Suarez. Like, what is Cedric Suarez doing here? Like, what is he doing here, honestly?
Well, Aubameyang leaving, making all the headlines. How do you think he's going to do at Barcelona?
I think he's going to do well. He's going to go to Barcelona, be given the confidence that he needs. He's got service providers at Barcelona, people that will be able to play to his strengths. Like we were saying off camera, you know, we've seen that since Unai Emery and Mikel Arteta come in, the reason why people will say, oh, well, Mesut Ozil lost it and Aubameyang's lost it. There's no coincidence here. There's the system and everything, and the style of play is completely changed. Like we were saying, Mesut Ozil's that number 10. What did we start seeing under Unai Emery? Going up the flanks, trying to cross the ball in. Literally, we're just moving the ball around Ozil and not even using him to the ability we know he's got. And then the same with Aubameyang. We're making Aubameyang do things that are not using him for his strengths. He's uncomfortable with. You're playing cross the ball FC with these players, and we've got no one in the box that can even jump up and hit a header.
They've sort of made their bed. Do you know what I mean? You're going to die on this hill or this sword or whatever the saying is if it goes wrong, because or is he? I don't even know. I've started to actually think that that's what's happening. The expectations are now so low. No one expects us to get top 4. Everyone is suddenly thinking, right, that's not happening at all.
Yeah.
Maybe even we'll be lucky to get European football again. Unless we get Champions League football, are we going to be able to attract the type of player who is getting paid stupid amounts of money that we're supposed to have saved? Because what I'm seeing, I've woken up to social media, I told you, and I got really pissed off. People are going on like we're some kind of fucking, like, we're not seeing the wages.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a massive amount of money being saved.
Yeah.
Where that money goes, though, is my, worry.
Yeah.
Especially as I genuinely went into this window thinking we're getting a midfielder at least, maybe even two.
Yeah.
Potentially that should have been or could have been done before the cup games. Liverpool, which is mad. The Forest game, which is even madder. And then the second Liverpool game, we had another opportunity. So we've basically cancelled our whole season.
Yep.
And it now looks like, when I looked at the fixture list, it's almost like the games are so, like, they're so spaced out that maybe they think, oh, we've actually got enough now because everybody's back from AFCON. Xhaka will be back from suspension. Eddie and Lacazette are... Well, maybe even with Martinelli and Pepe as other options.
Yeah, everyone's screaming for Pepe to play that number 9 role straight down the middle. I mean, based on the situations that we're in, I wouldn't mind taking that risk, playing Pepe as the striker. Pepe, Saka, Martinelli. Do you know what I mean? One thing, if we take ourselves back to when we actually signed Pepe under Unai Emery, even for Lille, Unai Emery was slightly, even though there was games where he played on the right, Unai Emery was allowing Pepe to have that freedom of being a bit more central. Now, when we see Pepe on the right, he's very, very predictable because he can't use his right foot. So we know he's going to cut back and he's going to pass back, or he's going to try and do something from that angle. Now, the great thing about using Pepe through those central areas is that because he is a bit of a flair, he's got a bit of flair to his game, players won't be able to predict his next move as much because now he's got the opportunity to pass to the right or to the left. Do you know what I mean? And with the pace that he has, keep running into that final third. So I think maybe playing Pepe in essential areas might make him a bit more effective and a bit more unpredictable with how we're playing. And maybe Mikel Arteta might be seeing that same vision, but...
Well, he's not bought any forwards, has he?
No, not since he's been here. No strikers whatsoever.
Which looks like it was the focus for this window.
Yeah.
And because they've not been able to get the main target, they've just said, all right, we won't do that yet. Let's just keep collecting money and we'll be able to get a big one.
Well, we see Isaac in London. You saw all of that, right?
Yeah.
And the Arsenal fans were going a bit mad. Oh, we've had his car, number plate. Like,
it was in Finsbury Park.
Yeah, and it's so mad, like how that all was happening at that period of time when he was actually in London. So again, that was very compelling to make us believe that, you know what, this is something that's happening. It's going to be
again, there were reports that Arsenal had made an offer.
Yeah, but
50 million euros.
But they were,
which is at least 25 million pounds less than
what they were asking for.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Why are you doing that? Then, like, why are you doing that? If you've got the money,
maybe they thought that's what he's worth.
Maybe, but then if you've got the money to get Dusan Vlahovic done, and we're talking about almost up to 100 million, including that agency fee that they were asking for, why are you not pulling the trigger on the Isaac move, or why are you not trying to find another alternative? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I just don't believe. I think that was PR. Yeah, I think that was all PR to keep the fans financially invested into Arsenal throughout that period of time. Buy the new train station kit and all of that, yeah, and you know what I mean. And that was it. Hunkadory. We'll find an excuse. We'll have meetings behind the scenes. We'll give Mikel Arteta a script, so when he goes into that press conference, he knows what he's got to say, and we'll just keep it stepping. Hopefully, the fan base will stay on board. Because it doesn't make any sense how an alternative wasn't discovered. Another thing that I want to talk about with the Dusan Vlahovic deal is that Fabrizio Romano confirms that Arsenal have been trying to push for this deal since October. Now, October is 2 months before December. If the player has no interest in joining Arsenal Football Club, how are you still in January trying to push for that deal?
If it works, and Arsenal there's like games where there's like 15 days between Premier League games. There's no other distractions, generally no other competitions. There's nothing for you to be like complaining about. if they remain fit, not suspended, and they get the results, they'll come off looking like it's a masterstroke.
Yeah.
And achieving Champions League football with this squad would be, to me, that's an out-of-the-world achievement.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it would be.
Right. Now, that is still sort of within Arsenal's grasp.
Yep. We have made it more harder.
It's much more difficult,
yeah,
for sure.
It's definitely a big risk, but can Arteta do it? Have we got the players that will continue and carry the momentum into the next game? Can Mikel Arteta give them the right mentality to go out there week game in, game out? These are things that we've seen that are questionable, over the past 2 years anyway. So it doesn't make me believe that it's something that we can actually do. If we look at the run of games that we have got coming up, Wolves next, who have been playing tremendously well. They're above expectations this season.
No Adama though. Yeah,
they've got Ruben Neves and Matinho together, who are just dictating and controlling the middle of the park. They will. The only problem with Wolves, they ain't got a striker that's hitting the back of the net every week. Do you know what I mean?
So where are you at then? Where you don't think it's going to work?
No, I'm very, very skeptical over where we're going to be and how we're going to make it work. One thing that's so annoying is when fans say, but we're building for the future. Every single club in the Premier League is building for the future. Not because Arsenal's building for the future, everyone's going to say, don't worry, we'll take our foot off the gas, we're going to relax. Because Arsenal's building for the future. Everybody's building for the future. If we're looking at other transfers that are actually happening. Newcastle, they went berserk in this window. Got a number of players that they needed that improved their team dramatically. Everton, 2 midfielders that they've brought in that are going to elevate the creative side of their game. They've already got Calvert-Lewin. They've already got Richarlison.
What happened to Calvert? We weren't interested in Calvert-Lewin.
This is it.
There's a theory that says in my head, right, were Arsenal interested in any of these dons?
This is what I'm saying. This is what I said earlier. The focus for Arsenal Football Club was to just lower the wage bill, get people off the wages so we can balance the books. That was the focus. Balancing the books. We're Balance the Books FC. We don't, literally people are saying, it's good that we save the money. It's not your money. I want Kroenke to splash that money. Yeah? There's no need to be doing that unless there's another type of agenda that we don't know that's unveiling right now.
Well, look, they did splash the cash in the summer.
Yep.
Not on, I guess, what people were expecting, but they did splash, and it looks like the defence is the one side of the game which has been okay.
Yep. Like even with the splashing of the cash in the summer, maybe did Arsenal go into the summer ready to splash the cash, or did the fans demand for that cash to be splashed? Because just before they started splashing that cash, what was happening? KSE out protests, people down at the stadium causing a problem. At that point, we had signs, no players. Then all of a sudden, it's like, we're losing control of the people that we need to stay financially invested. So guess what we'll do? We'll pull the wool over their eyes. We'll give them a bit of money, and then what we'll do? Go into January and we'll find ways on how we can get that money back. And that's exactly what they've done. They've splashed that money, but they've gone into January without buying anyone, and terminated contracts, got players out the door on big wages to find ways on how they can actually get that money back.
I feel like I've been mugged off. What do you think about Eddie Nketiah? A couple of offers had been rejected, which now means we're going to lose potentially him
for free,
and Lacazette and Aubameyang all for free.
It doesn't make any sense to me. You have to question what Richard Garlick, the chief negotiator, is actually doing here. Because as a chief negotiator and the lawyer of these contracts, your job is to make sure these players are tied down or we're getting some form of money for them. That's his actual job. That's what he's been brought in to do. He even had an interview. Remember, we've had 4 interviews from these guys: Edu, Richard Garlick, Mikel Arteta, and Josh Kroenke. In that interview, Richard Garlick was saying, look, my job is to make sure that we're tying contracts down, looking at the legalities of these contracts, trying to find the right amount of money that we can get from a player. That's his job. Do you know what I mean?
What happened to Josh Kroenke? He was all loud and proud of it. Do you remember when we went on, what was it, a 9-game unbeaten run?
Yeah.
And he was just ready to do Sky Sports special interview with Arsenal.
Yep.
What's happened to that?
There we go.
He said he was going to communicate more with fans. I haven't seen him since.
And then there's the talk of Mikel Arteta and a 2-year contract extension. Listen, I don't know, where this actually comes from.
When he's in America, right? I'll bring this picture up. He's gone to this hockey game.
Yeah.
Where he's pictured with Kroenke.
Yeah.
Is he there to talk about Austin Trusty? Or is he asking for money for a striker? Or is he there to talk about his contract? All three.
Yeah. It's just so questionable how Aubameyang's not good enough for Arsenal and for this project, but he's good enough for Barcelona.
Who's next on the chopping block for Arteta? Because he's like a henchman.
William Saliba.
Oh, okay. Right.
Williams,
he's sort of already been cut. You're saying it's not finally. That's not. It's
not dealt with, and I think
we've got more drama coming.
We've got more drama.
Remember as well the maddest timing, that video that got released.
Yeah,
and it was like right at the point where it was like you've got to make a decision here about where you stand as a fan. Anyway, are you Team Arteta, trust that he's not ready, or are you Team Saliba? Why the fuck are you not including him? And then bang, that video come out.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's sad, man, because Aubameyang's a player I was a big fan of. Done some great things for the club. It's just
when I say William Saliba as well, I mean that he will leave Arsenal in the summer.
Oh, you think that's done?
That's done. I don't think he's obviously gonna come back, but there's gonna be a cry out from the Arsenal fans about what's going on with William Saliba, and Arsenal are going to deal with it in a way where he's not going to be a part of the project. You're going to go to either Real Madrid because they're interested in William Saliba, they want to put a bid in for the summer, or you're going to stay at Marseille.
Fixtures: Wolves.
Yep.
Brentford.
Yep.
Liverpool.
Yep.
Watford.
Brentford's going to be a hard game because, they've got a hard-working team. They've got a manager that...
Bro, what about Wolves?
Demands... Listen, Wolves is going to be a tricky game. I think Wolves could potentially be a draw. The only reason I say that is because Wolves don't have strikers. They don't have anyone that can put the ball in the back of the net. Defensively, they're one of the best teams in the Premier League. They've only conceded about 15 goals all season.
Nah, to me, that's 9 points minimum. Has to be 7 points minimum.
You would expect it.
Brentford at home. We're at home. We've got to beat Brentford at home. We have to.
We was at home against Burnley, the bottom team in the league, and we drawed 0-0. Couldn't break them down. Crossing the ball into Lacazette. Like what's going to change? Like if that's your philosophy, this is the reason why the window actually winds me up as well. Because if that's your philosophy, why did you not bring in a striker that can work in that philosophy?
He might not have been your option, but you just bring in a tool on. You keep thinking it up.
Sign Weghorst.
The thing is though, if they couldn't get anyone on loan, then they weren't willing to do, we're signing people up to mad contracts because that's what we're trying to get out of now with everybody else.
Yeah.
But to have no replacements whatsoever to me, it's unacceptable, bro.
And then with the contract...
It's too much of a risk.
Of course it is.
There's a little bit of me which says, even if it does work out, even if you get top 4, that's not because of the decision you made. That's in spite of the decision that you made.
Yeah.
This is a risk, bro. I thought we had different knock.
No, not with Mikel Arteta as the manager. We don't. Because look, it's all about, for the player, it's all about. I
don't know if we've got any knock. I don't know if we even know where the fucking door is.
Yeah, exactly.
We, right now, to me, it feels like we've got no pull whatsoever.
Not whatsoever. We're standing on the other side of the road screaming across at the guy, We're not being able to get close enough to this deal based on the manager, in my opinion. People will sit there and say, oh no, Wax, what are you talking about? This is all on Edu. Edu makes contact. If Edu's making contact and sitting down at the table over lunch, having a negotiation or having a conversation with the agent, Edu's job's done. Deadwood, cool, I understand that. But why are you so happy that we've saved so much money? You're KSC out, but you're happy that we're saving KSC more money. Makes sense. Make it make sense. Yeah. You're giving yourself false hope. That's what they're doing.
But then they have, I know you said it was because of the protests, but they have in recent times just gone bang.
Look,
there are also people that will say they've only been in full control of the club for a few years.
Yeah, so, and I've even said on my own streams that since, and this is what makes me believe to a certain extent that these men do actually care about Arsenal being the club that we all want us to be. Yeah, because since they've been full owners, the averages of money that we're spending on transfers per season since Arsene Wenger was here has gone up by 50%. Under Arsene Wenger, from 2000 up until 2018, we only averaged about 50 million per season. Now we're averaging...
Is that net or is that...
No, that's money that we're actually outlaying on players.
So that means as well, because he would have been selling a top player every year to balance the books.
Yeah.
We're not really very good at selling players.
We're not.
Who have we actually got? Willock is the only player I can think of.
He's the only player that Mikel Arteta and his team have been able to sell for 25 million. That's the only money we've made from player sales since Mikel Arteta has been here.
That can't be true.
That's the truth.
That can't be the truth.
That's the truth. 25 million is all we've made off player sales since Mikel Arteta has been here. Everyone else has been sold for free, or you can't sell a man for free, but given away for free, or contract termination. That's what we've done. You know, but like I was saying, 50% our averages per season that we're spending since the
we sold Martinez.
Martinez as well. Okay, cool. I'll take that back then.
For 15 million.
15 million. You know, so what the max we've generated through player sales in the past just over 2 years has only been what, 40 mil?
It is been an emotional one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm really happy it's actually over.
Yeah.
What I don't want to hear is people coming out of the woodwork and telling me what they're going to do in the summer, which seems to be what's happening this morning, with people saying the club are now looking to renew Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli's contracts.
We've just literally renewed Saka's contracts when we gave Aubameyang that big 350k. That was a year and a half ago. Why are we trying to renew it already?
Well, I think the first reason would be because, you know, going into the window at least, I started to think, like, I was having conversations with mates saying, who are they looking up to at the club? They're sort of the best players here now.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing all the work, they're scoring all the goals,
and
making all the goals.
This is the reason why I have to laugh when people say that these guys are going to develop. Saka, Martinelli, ESR, they've got the ceiling to be great players and they can go and play for the likes of a Bayern Munich one day. But the only way they're going to get to that level is if they've got people around them that will help them get to that level. You know, you're not just going to be playing with a team of under 23s and automatically be that Ronaldinho or be at that type of height. You're not. You know, you need influencers around you that will help you develop your game. They're not learning from anyone. Who are they learning from? How can you expect him to grow if he's not learning from anyone?
Well, they're now probably worried that not only are they thinking like that, but that, you know, Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp, amongst others, just keep praising them. Just showering praise on these guys.
Yeah, because they're ready to take them. They're ready to take them.
So there you go. That's Arsenal saying, let's just secure our guys, put you in a mad contract.
And then sell you for mad money.
Or at least it's more difficult for anyone to buy you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if people want a player, they'll spend the money on a player. So I don't really, like, giving him a new contract just keeps his valuation at a level where, you know, as a club, I'm making money off this guy. But, you know, if we compare the development of the players to Phil Foden, for example, they've got players around them that will help elevate their game. We don't have that here, and therefore these players will go through a period of time where they will stagnate and even potentially regress because they've got nothing else or no one to look up to in order for them to, you know, develop on their game. Mikel Arteta is not a good enough manager to help them develop. He wasn't a great player. He wasn't a Steven Gerrard. He wasn't a Frank Lampard. You know, he wasn't one of those guys. So yeah, people just get carried away, man. You know, these players are good players, but they need that support, man.
Look, it's a massive gamble.
Massive.
The way that they've done it is a massive gamble. As I said before, if it comes off, it's a masterstroke.
Yeah.
And there will be a lot of people that will get to just align with the fact that it was a good decision in January to you know, get rid of what we didn't need or want, and also look forward to a summer which now, to me, has to be special.
Special, very special.
It could be an exciting one.
It could be, but I doubt it. I honestly doubt it.
You're not ready for that emotionally yet. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure yet again. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you've got any thoughts, I'm sure you'll do. Let us know in the comment section below. Aubameyang, good decision or not? Are Arsenal going to make European football in general? And any questions that you got for us for the next episode. But for now, we've been
The Arsenal Agenda.